go off air, doctor, there is one issue that I want you to understand. It's okay, I agree with part of what you're saying. If someone forcefully sodomizes a young man or a big man,
that is the one for the death penalty.
First way, yes.
That is the death penalty.
Yes.
But most people are confused. That's
fine. First way, Pastor, that's okay. You get it. If one had a homosexual relationship with a minor, that's fine. Like it is in a heterosexual relationship. But if we have two adult men who agree between themselves and they sodomize each other, how are we affected as Uganda?
Let me give you this. In Uganda here, even though you and me, even even today the homosexuals, you can be seduced into, even though you are more than 8, you are more than 18 years, as in they are making parties, as in they are making that whatever girls like touring sex tourism, making parties, and you also, if you make money, you will be paid. After that, you done on sex. Then after that, you start bringing the problems as you.
But let me give you the consequences.
Yes, but
you're asking what are the consequences? Number one is spread of diseases. Homosexuality is the most efficient method of spreading HIV. Number two.
You also say sex is abolished in Uganda because it spreads HIV.
No, you are being alarmist and misleading. Secondly, homosexuality spreads hepatitis A, B, C. 3, homosexuals, they eat each other's rectum and they put their mouth there and they eat their poo-poo. That is a disease. Then they put their hands inside their rectum called fisting. And it breaks them and they put their hands inside their rectum like this. My friend, this thing is inherently evil. Anal licking, rimming. I think for you, you don't know what homosexuals do. Now, we have a proverb in my language. If in our clan or in your place, there's one homosexual in the clan, like if you are in Naminyango, Chisubi, Butiki, Kasasa, and there's one boy is homosexual, that boy is going to spread the homosexuality all around. However, I agree with
you. Have you ever been in a single-sex school?
Oh, yes.
Pastor, I went for my O-level. I went to Kawareda Secondary School in Masenyi, and believe me, I did not experience any act of homosexuality. But we come to the end.
Are you saying there's no homosexuality in single-sex schools?
Yeah, but we should not take it for granted.
My friend!
We should not take it for granted.
For me, in fact, I need gender balancing.
Yes, but we should not.
We need gender balancing single-sex schools.
How can you talk about gender balancing when it's the same guys who promote human rights?
No! You have to understand. Me, I have an ATM. I'm part of a human rights organization called Family Policy and Human Rights Center.
That's wonderful.
We are redefining the values of human rights because you cannot make right wrong, because you cannot decriminalize the criminal, and you cannot make legitimate the illegitimate.
Wonderful. Now, as we come to the end of this program, I want to draw you a little bit backwards to where we were before coming to this point. If the bill does not go through, if homosexuality...
Why are you so negative? Let us pray for this man. Lord Jesus, I pray that this man will get the spirit of faith. Why don't you have faith? Why? No. In fact, I'm even beginning to cast a demon. Come out of him. You demon of unbelief. Come out in the name of Jesus. Demon of spreading homosexuality. Come out in the name of Jesus. We see you Jordan. Hey, come on.
Is very much welcome in this country. But given the fact that you know that Uganda is a third world country, I mean, we have our values and we dearly love to adhere to them. But there being a poor third world country whose budget is more than 40% funded by the governments who are commanding us to be very careful as we discuss this bill. How dare you say that we can just leave what they're saying and we go on with the promotion of our values?
Well, first of all, I think that there is need to change paradigm. Well, right now we are one of the emerging nations. So when you talk about Uganda, a country with oil, a country with significant uranium, the recent aeronautical survey revealed that Uganda is one of the most gifted countries with uranium, which Americans and Europeans need to build Rwanda nuclear reactors. Just so you think of two particular issues, uranium and as well as oil.
What value is uranium?
When you begin to talk about nations of power, you begin to talk about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has its own unique value system, and America respects it because they have taken a stand of determination. China, let me finish with China.
No, Pastor, you're talking about a few countries. Talk about Saudi Arabia, don't talk about China. You're talking about Saudi Arabia, one of the very few countries that are special in their own manner. Well, we have oil and uranium.
And so
look at African countries. Look at African countries that actually have oil and uranium. Are they self-sustaining? Are they not funded by the same donors?
I was coming to the point. I know you were a bit pessimistic, but you have to understand there's a new Uganda, and you have to have a realistic assessment of what God has given this country. This country, when you begin to mention nations of power, you need to begin to mention Abu Dhabi, you begin to mention Kuwait, you begin to mention Saudi Arabia, you begin to mention Uganda. Today, the Italian people are here to try and invest in our oil chain. You need to wake up to the new reality. And America is interested in Uganda's uranium.
Yes, Doctor.
And I woke up into the monitor that the Secretary of Commerce of America had written to Hillary Clinton saying that if the bill is discussed and goes through, that they should take us out of AGOA. You know, we're exporting cotton.
Yes, but you know, Doctor, that if we recklessly move on with this bill, the same investors that you're talking about may end up pulling out of Uganda. And look at a country like DR Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, that has a lot of uranium.
It has governance issues. But come back to Uganda. You need to understand that people must be strong. If Americans and Europeans know that these people are strong, they cannot put sodomy exports as the priority of their foreign policy. Any country that puts sodomy on the top priority of its foreign policy is a failed state. Secondly,
yes,
I want to let you know that if any country wishes that the selling in AGOA, we sell cotton.
Yes.
The selling of if the selling of our cotton to America means that we receive sodomy in exchange, then that is a barter trade we cannot do. We would rather find someone with whom we can do business with. Do you know that America, every American right now, is indebted to China up to the tune of $20,000? And if China today,
you are talking about China.
I want you to listen. If China today was to call of its money and say, America, pay me my money, America would close down today as a financial country. So do not let America intimidate you.
You're talking about China,
England,
a country that has a market of over 1 billion people. But like you said, that we should look at our country as a new country. With us,
before you get to Pokagaba, I want to finish on the issue of China. You people need to understand, some of you worship America. You are rushing to America. You are rushing to England. These countries are economically bankrupt. They are heavily indebted. And there is no way someone who is it's a misguided person who does not realize that Uganda is a strategic partner in the fight against terror. It's a strategic partner. There's a desire for military bases. Uganda is an oil state. Uganda is a country with significant uranium. No government can put its foreign policy that the number one priority is the export of sodomy here.
Doctor, it's for that same reason that many people get to appreciate the United States of America. Who else would you appreciate than a poor man who forgets about his poverty and he comes out wholeheartedly to support you, to get you out of poverty? How many people in this country are on antiretroviral drugs? These are life-saving drugs. And the US through its FIFA program that is actually funding such programs.
And you abused George Bush. George Bush came out and gave the money. George Bush gave the money for fighting homosexuals for ARPs. George Bush, Obama has failed. But George Bush did well, and you people condemned him. Now you are coming back and saying, oh, America is giving us. But if the giving us of mosquito nets, ARVs, and malaria medicines involves us embracing sodomy and going the way of Sodom and Gomorrah, then we would rather die in dignity than live in dishonor, because we have held these cherished cultures for thousands of years.
Yes,
America is about 200-300 years.
But it's not only America.
Just Uganda alone is close to 500 years. Long before America was made, in Uganda we knew a man marries a woman. You have the Ashanti Kingdom, you have Ghana, you have Timbuktu, you have Egypt, you all the way to Zululand, Zimbabwe. We cannot deny the historical hand down to us we have received from our fathers. Just because some guy Gordon Brown or whatever is saying that we need the Canada, just because those are misguided, failed.
The man's poison. So they want us to eat their poison of homosexuality. And we're saying no. So we want people to show how they feel, because I don't know how they have. So on January 19th, there's been a task force that met of religious leaders, and we realize it's Christmas time, but we had to send a message, a strong message out, and we did yesterday. Thanks for the coverage. But there was an agreement. People are saying, no, I have to show that I support my president, that I support my parliament, that I support my culture. And so on January 19th, we are going to have a couple of days where Ugandans will show how they feel about this issue of homosexuality.
Right.
So we're going to have people coming from all over the country, converging on the city. Even other cities, there's going to be shows of expression of support. So we're expecting more than 3 million people to show up that day, maybe 5. But this is an issue that people feel very deeply and passionately about.
Okay, great. And let me go to Honorable Bahati. You seem a lot more. I mean, on the outset, you seem a quiet, harmless fellow who would never harm anybody else, and then you come up with this private members bill and causing a ruckus all over the world. Just give us a brief background. What was the rationale behind this particular bill that you came up with?
Two aspects to this. The first aspect is that the Constitution of Uganda prohibits same-sex marriage. The Penal Code Act talks about and outlaws unnatural behavior against the order of nature. But it falls short of mentioning specifically homosexuality. Yet on the other side, we know that homosexuality has become a big issue. It's a creeping evil in our society. There's a lot of recruitment of single-sex schools, in single-sex schools, of our children. There is also a lot of promotion of this evil in our society. And at the same time, the population of Uganda, 95% of Ugandans oppose homosexuality. So it is really a summation of the aspiration and values of Ugandans. So the bill comes in to bridge the gap in the legal system, but fulfill the aspiration of people who do not support homosexuality.
So you're saying that you're not introducing anything new, really, because already the Constitution actually prohibits it, and the Penal Code as well prohibits it, and therefore you're simply trying to put the icing on a cake that's already existent.
It's not simply. It's not simply just to add, but there are things that are already not in the Penal Code Act that are necessary for us to look at. For example, if you talk about promotion of homosexuality, it's not covered in the existing law. If you talk about homosexuality itself in specific terms, comparing it to the gravity of the problem, it's not handled in the current laws. So it is coming in here to strengthen the current law, but also to give it a boost to catch areas which are not already covered in the law.
Great. And just before I go to Martin once again, just give us a brief about what a private member's bill is, because I'm sure many of our viewers might not quite understand. Say, private member's bill, what is that? How do we differentiate it from other bills that come into Parliament?
Our rules of procedure and indeed the Constitution provides that a member of Parliament, what we call a bank bencher, we have people who sit on the front row, the cabinet ministers and the state ministers, and also we have members of Parliament who sit behind the ministers. Normally, laws are brought by the executive, which is the cabinet ministers, but also a private member, a backbencher, has a right, if he sees that there is something urgent, there is something that can help the society to help society, he has a right to move a private member's bill. This is a proposed law brought by a member, an ordinary member like me of Parliament. And if that law, if that bill does not have, or the government thinks that the current financial arrangement will cater for the law that is being proposed, then we seek for a private, rather a certificate of financial implications, which we really got. So this is the difference between a bill brought by government and a bill brought by an ordinary member of Parliament. In this case, it's a bill brought by an ordinary member of Parliament. But of course, it is supported by the majority member of Parliament, not only from the ruling party, but also members of the opposition. I was seconded and supported by a member of the Great Party, UPC, and also members of the opposition on the FDC side, on all parties, CP, mentioned them, DP. We are all in this together. This is one of the common grounds that we have in Parliament.
Actually, you should say that's one of the very few common grounds that if you find Parliament, like agreeing on anything, because most of the time you're disagreeing on every other thing. But before I go to Martin, once a private member's bill, once passed into law, gets the full force of law. Considering the anti-homosexuality bill that is in Parliament, tabled by Honorable David Bahati, Member of Parliament for Ndora West, and we're talking to him tonight, as well as Pastor Martin Ssempa, who yesterday did lead an anti-homosexuality demonstration here in Kampala, did cause a bit of ruckus, as a matter of fact, and he's here to tell us a little bit about that and what lies ahead in the fight against homosexuality, especially in the face of growing opposition from the powers that be, from the West, the Americas, and Europe as well. When a big brother say no to this, I mean, it does take guts for somebody to say, whatever the donors say, we're going to stand up what we believe in. Martin, talk to me about the reaction that you saw from the West, from the Americas, and as well as the Europeans. I mean, do you feel intimidated, or you feel this is our moment, we're going to get with it?
First, I think that I want to thank God for Honorable David Bahati, as well as the members of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the President, the Cabinet. I really want to thank God because they've taken such a hit and pressure for having introduced this very progressive law. This law is different from any other countries in the world. So I want to thank God, and I want to thank Honorable Bahati, and I ask everybody to support our Cabinet, our members of Parliament, and our President. The second thing, you asked Honorable Bahati about, this is not a new law. You pointed something. There is an element where some media practitioners, both in Uganda, I've looked at papers like The Monitor, Observer, Reuters, and others, where they are, whether knowingly or unknowingly, misleading the public. That they are saying that the law is criminalizing homosexuality. And that is not true. Homosexuality, as you said, has been criminal for at least 50 years. Section 145 of our Penal Code, our Constitution, is clear that it's an unnatural sexual offenses. However, they've not been as defined clearly as Honorable Bahati has mentioned out. The other part is the missing propaganda conspiracy to promote it. So there has been misinformation. And unfortunately, it's been deliberate in some cases. So some of the homosexual sympathizers from Europe, from America, who are always looking to spread the gospel of homosexuality, when they hear that now Uganda is going to criminalize homosexuality, they think that, oh my God, these people are taking the right away of homosexuals. We better come in and demand that they don't take the rights away. So unfortunately, because of that, there has been some countries that either knowingly or unknowingly have threatened cutting off funding. Businesses that are saying, no, if you stop homosexuals having freedom, we will not visit Uganda. Diplomatic tensions have come. Sweden has threatened to cut off aid. Obama has used his pulpit to be a bully, okay? Very undemocratic by saying that he doesn't support this bill, even before the bill is discussed exhaustively. You see, Gordon Brown at Commonwealth came out and voiced his concern and said, no, this, and Gordon Brown had promised that he would use his pulpit as a bully pulpit to expand homosexual rights across the world. Canada, people in the HIV/AIDS community. So in this regard, this progressive bill, I don't call it controversial, I call it very progressive, has unfortunately received negative coverage. And part of it is our local media. The second part that I found is that there is deliberate obfuscation of information. There is deliberate withholding of information to create a deception. Now, one of the sections in the bill is aggravated homosexuality, which is equal to aggravated defilement. The same way you defile a girl and you receive capital punishment is the same way you defile a boy. We are saying, the law is saying, equal rights, equal responsibility, equal protection. So if a man rapes a boy who's below 18 or a woman rapes a girl who's below 18, or a handicapped person, those two, or even if the perpetrator can be any different, if you do that, these two victims that are being protected are termed as aggravated homosexuality. Now, unfortunately, this is pedophilia, this is rape. Unfortunately, whenever Monitor or other newspapers are reporting, they usually say that this bill recommends death in some cases. So when you say some cases, and you've already said that there is no law, that you are introducing a new law, people are getting hysterical. Because now when they say some cases, think that these guys are lining up homosexuals and shooting them in a firing squad. They're looking at Honorable David Bahati as Nazi. They're calling him Hitler. They're calling us, the president. There has been irresponsible journalism of the highest order in this. And there is necessity to check it. But on the last end, my brother, Tegule, I want to say, there is even if Sweden, my message is, even if Sweden decides to cut off aid, our response is simple. If the price for getting malaria mosquito nets or fancidas or HIV drugs is receiving sodomy and homosexuality, then we are saying we'd rather die in dignity with our malaria than betray the 5,000 years of written history from Timbuktu, from Cairo, from Buganda, Bunyoro, all the way down to South Africa. Our fathers have handed down to us the knowledge homosexuality is illegal. Even if Obama says that it is illegal 1,000 times, Hillary Clinton dances around 1,000 times, and they are joined to roll on the ground to beg us. I mean, really, I've said, look, if Obama comes and rolls around in front of me and begs me to accept homosexuality, I will say, I will never. Even if it's joined by Hillary, even if they are joined by Bill Gordon Brown, and they all roll in the mud, I will say, no, even the martyrs of Uganda martyrs died in 1886. 86. That is 26 of them fighting this same thing. We can't betray. So if they want to take their aid, they can get their aid and take it away. God has given us oil. We are now like Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, amongst the powerful nations of the world.
Okay, well, you're watching Matters of Policy with me, Gawate Gule, and the man exploding there is Pastor Martin Ssempa, who does that all the time. By the way, Member of Parliament for Dora West, Honorable David Bahati, and we're discussing the anti-homosexuality bill that he himself introduced in Parliament the other day. And unfortunately, we don't have time for for talk back, hearing from you. But never mind, just listen in, and that will be good to go. But we have about 5 minutes left. I'll just wrap up this very concisely. What is the timetable for this bill? When should we expect to see it on the floor of Parliament being debated and then maybe passed into law?
Just in a second, just to emphasize what Pastor Ssempa said, that actually there has been a lot of distortion on the clauses within the bill. The pro-gay community picked on the word death in the bill, and just turned it around to attract sympathy in their country. We are not providing for death penalty for 2 adults. We are providing for death penalty to be consistent with the Department Act that we passed in 2007, where an adult engages, rapes a minor of 18 years and below. And when that adult has HIV/AIDS, or you're a guardian, you're a parent, you want to rape the kid that you are looking after, this is what we are proposing. And it's important also to note that actually this is still a bill, it's still a proposal, and people are welcome to come in. If you think some clauses are not good, to tear them down and get them off. If you think there is something that we are forgetting, to put it in. Now, moving forward, of course, there is no option to remove this from the table. It's a very necessary bill. It's a bill that will protect our family, a bill that will defend our children, a bill that will defend all Ugandans and provide decency in freedom. Moving forward, the bill now is under the Parliamentary Committee of Legal Affairs, and it's going to be handled jointly with the Presidential Affairs Committee. Parliament went on recess yesterday, and we hope that when we come back in February, we will be able to look at this and maybe go through the committee stages, and we hope end of February, early March, this bill will be passed into law, and Ugandans, we know that Ugandans, you are anxiously waiting for this bill, and want to tell you that as members of Parliament, as your representatives in Parliament, we will not waver. We are moving forward to protect your families. We are moving forward to protect your children, and to ensure that this law is passed.
We just heard that you've been receiving death threats and over the phone or whatever. Just quickly tell us about that.
Since we moved this bill, we have received a number of threats. We have received a number of information that maneuvers to fabricate a number of things about us. We have informed the relevant authorities, and above all, we know that God who cares for all of us is in charge, and we think that we are safe.
Okay, Martin, have you also received death threats? I'll be surprised if you didn't.
Yeah, my friend. These homosexuals, there was one who were discussing about carrying guns to come to attack me. And me and Buturu and Bahati. And I said, you people, you are discussing about killing us. You guys are evil. And then they said, oh, no, we are just joking, what. But it is. My children, I have to keep an eye. You have to go in a higher level of prayer. And I ask guys to pray for Honorable Bahati. He's not a pastor, he's a legislator, okay? And he's doing a law that is putting resolve on what we believe as the people. For us, homosexuality is illegal, it's ungodly, it is against our culture, it is against the laws of our land and the laws of our God. So this law is helping translate that. The other one that I want to say is January is going to be a month of fasting and prayer, really, for this law. December 31st, we are asking all those who are in prayer meetings, bring this issue up. Nambole, whatever, Nachivubo, this issue is going to be given prominence. And then lastly, but I want everybody to get the phone number of your member of parliament, because I'm beginning to see evidence of, Red Pepper gave a story that a lot of money was being powered into the country. And I know millions are being powered in to bribe people, media people, officials. So, every person, it is your role to get a telephone of your member of parliament and send him a text message and tell him, Sebo, please, don't stop this anti-homosexuality law. Because if you do, you are going to have to depend on Americans to vote you in. Okay? Really, you have to tell these people.
I just want to come in here and say I have all the confidence that the members of parliament I know in that house who gave me a go-ahead to come up with the law will not be bribed.
Very good.
Will not be bribed. We are standing together in this. As I said, this is a common ground, and I'm sure that this law will pass into law.
Very good. So all the same, send a message, text message of support.
Yeah.
Just send them, say, please, Christmas greetings, honorable, please, support the bill. We are with you all the way. Paka last. Eh?
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I would like to say thank you very much for being with us.
You're
I think
welcome.
we've had a good engagement about what we think is a very, very important step in our country's history and also our country's future, because it's about protecting this generation and also the future generations. And I would like to thank you very much. I'll be calling on you anytime just to come and say something more about this particular bill. But until then, I wish you the best of luck and God's blessings even as you fight forward.
Thank you. I just want to give my phone number in case somebody wants to send me a text message. That is 0772 641028, 0772 641028. Also, if you want to support this cause, because we have to make sure that we educate people. There's got to be education, workshops. We want to find people who can be able to support this cause. So anyway, please get in touch with me, or if you want to email me, familypolicescenter, familypolicescenter@gmail.com, familypolicescenter@gmail.com. We'll be sure to get in touch with you, even send you a copy of the bill. Thank you.
I just want to wish a Merry Christmas all Ugandans.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And from me, Gareth Agule, and the crew here at UBC, have a good night. God bless you. Merry Christmas, and stay with us.